So let's see how we can work out a polynomial function whenever we're given the graph of a function. So we're only going to do it up to degree 3, meaning we're only do it up to polynomials with x cubed terms in it. So we're not going to do it, say, with x to the 4 or x to the 5. So if it has 3 points at which it cuts the x-axis, that means it has got 3 roots. So the factors for each of these roots are going to be given by x minus a, x minus b and x minus c, and we're going to have some value k, which we'll see how to work that out just in a minute. So we know that a polynomial function looking like this is going to be of this general form, so we have to try and find out these values. So let's go ahead and we'll do an example. So this is our mystery function here. We have to try and work out exactly what this function is, so we want to be able to write the polynomial function down. So what we need to do is find the points at which it crosses the x-axis. That is, we need to find the roots. So it crosses at -1, 0, crosses at 3, 0, and it crosses at 4, 0. And it also crosses it along 0 up 12. So those are the 4 points that we need to know in order to work out what this polynomial equation is. So let's go ahead and we'll take a copy of this and we'll go and do the maths. So this is our graph redrawn here, and we're going to try and work out what the equation is for this graph. Now we can see that the roots are at -1, at 3 and at 4, so that's the points where they cross the x-axis. So we can write that our roots are -1, 3 and 4. So if those are the roots, it means that the factors are going to be x minus 1, x plus 1, sorry, x minus 3 and x minus 4. Now we've seen from the previous page that the function f of x is given by this here times some factor k. So this is going to be our function f of x. So we're part of the way there in working out what our function is. So now we need to know what this factor of k is. But we know whenever x is equal to 0 that y is equal to 12. So we can simply put the value of 0 in here, because this f of x is just our height, our y height, which is 12. So we can say that 12 is going to equal, well, the value for x is going to be 0, so it's going to be 0 plus 1, so that's just going to be 1, times 0 minus 3, so that's -3, times 0 minus 4. So that thing there times our k. Now what we do is just transpose this to get the value for k. So we can see then that k is going to equal 12 divided by, well, 3 times 4 is 12 and 2 negatives make a positive, so 12 upon 12 was equal to a value of 1. So that means that our polynomial function here, f of x, is simply going to be our x plus 1, x minus 3, x minus 4. So what we want to be able to do is we'll multiply this out, and then we'll actually draw this function in the graphical calculator and see whether we actually create this function or not. So this will be our test to see if we've got this right. So we're going to have, we'll multiply these two first out, and then we'll multiply it by the final one. So these two are going to give us our x squared minus 3x plus x is minus 2x and minus 3. We'll take that whole thing and we'll multiply it by x minus 4. So multiply by x first, we'll have our x squared minus, so that'll be x cubed minus 2x squared and we would have minus 3x. Okay, so we just multiplied each of these by the value of x. And then we're going to multiply again by the value of minus 4. So we'll have minus 4 x squared plus 8x, and with minus times minus is the plus, so that will be plus 12. So now we'll gather like terms together and we'll see what the equation looks like. So it's going to be x cubed, and it'll be minus 6x squared, so just gathering these two together, minus 8x plus minus 3x plus 8x is plus 5x plus the 12. So according to our working, that is our function f of x. So this here should be the polynomial function, which is this graph here. So let's go ahead and we'll take that function and we'll put it into the graphical calculator and see whether it is the mystery function. So let's put our function in. We have f of x is going to equal x cubed plus, it's minus 6x squared plus 5x plus 12. Now if we get this right, we get this 12, it should sit right on top, and you can see it's sitting right on top of that function. So that's the original function in red, and that's the function that we have created. So that is the function. So let's reveal the mystery function to see that it is correct, and that's exactly the function. Okay, so it does work, and we are able to create the polynomial function from the graph. So there's one little thing I'm going to talk about next just before we finish this video. So the last thing we want to mention is the idea of a repeated root. So in this instance here, the graph comes down and it just touches this x-axis. So you might be tempted to say, well, the general function f of x is k x minus a and x minus b, but that isn't the case. In this instance here, although it only touches at one point, there is in fact two roots here, and this is called a repeated root. So the roots are actually k x minus a and x minus a, so the a root is actually repeated twice. So we can rewrite that as f of x equals k x minus a squared x minus b. So we'll go ahead and we'll do a few examples of working out the polynomial function given the graph. And after that, we'll go ahead and we'll see how we're able to work out the graph given the polynomial function. So thank you for listening. I'll get you in the next video. Goodbye.